I'd like to open up the regular meeting, December 14th, 2021. I show the time 6:01. I show we have a full quorum and with Bob, I guess, in Connecticut on limbo there. So we will dial him in, and then we need to motion to recess to move over to
Thanks Fellowship Hall. 10,012 Newtown Road.
All's in favor?
Aye.
You're good to start back.
Okay. I'd like to reconvene the December 14th, 2021 regular meeting. We've moved to, what's this place called again?
Fellowship Hall.
Fellowship Hall.
Banks Presbyterian Church.
So first up, we have on the agenda allowing council members. I show we have one that's remote at this time. So I need a motion to allow council members to participate remotely.
So moved.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have adoption of the agenda. I heard, Kim, you have some shame.
Yeah, I just want to move C, reports and updates after the organizational session.
After, okay.
That's it.
That's a big move, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's good. No, I mean, I had planned to.
Unless somebody's not here for you.
Well, it's all right. I said 6:30, but we'll be able to,
Oh, I think we'll be good.
okay.
We have
Very
our
good.
audit presentation,
Okay.
right?
Okay, great. Anything else? Bob, do you have anything?
I'm good.
All right. All right, I'd like to, I need a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
So moved.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody got really quiet. I was saying it really loudly. I
Just
was
wanted
like,
to see if you all knew it. I didn't want to have to leave. It's like the second verse in Silent Night.
I know,
Nobody
so-
knows it. All right, public comment. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
Go get the sheet.
And nobody on,
Well, we have one person. Two.
no one has signed up, and anyone out in WebEx land, if you're here for public comment, you can unmute yourself.
No, he's the auditor.
That's the only one.
Okay, I show no one, so close that up and we'll move right into presentations. Next up, we have B, presentations fiscal year 21 audit presentation by S. Preston Douglas and Associates, LLP. And Jamie, do you have this one? I think you're leading this.
Yes, and I want to invite our auditor, Daniel, to speak and present the audit for the fiscal year 21 to us.
Hey, can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Turn it up a little bit.
Okay. I'm having a little bit of difficulty with my camera, but I should be able to do this via doing my voice here. If you do hear any screaming in the background, I am at home, so that would be my one-year-old child. So just bear with me with that a little bit. I do appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all this evening. Again, my name is Daniel Leonard. I'm the audit manager at S. Preston Douglas. I'm a CPA. I've been working here for several years, and I've been doing this audit for several years as well. This is the third fiscal year that we have audited the Village of Marvin. This year's audit was very smooth, and I do have good financial results to report on tonight. I'll start off with the auditor's opinions and the reports that we issued in the financial statements. There were two independent auditor reports, the first of which was on the financial statements themselves. We issued an unmodified opinion on the financial statements, which is the highest level of assurance. This is also referred to as a clean opinion. This means we didn't find anything material or any problems that we needed to address to modify the opinion. The We also have a yellow book or compliance audit report in the very back of the compliance section of the financial statements. This is over internal controls specifically. We did have one finding this year. It's the same finding that the village has received for the past 3 years, and which is related to segregation of duties. This is pretty par for the course for smaller municipalities to have the segregation of duties issues, and that usually occurs when one person, usually the finance director or someone along those lines, ends up, being a small town, having the ability to authorize, have custody of assets, recording and reconciling, the bank statements and that type of thing. It's something that can be averted once you start expanding and hiring more people, but being smaller, it can be kind of difficult to get away from that. And as I did say, that has been the same finding for the last 3 years. Just a couple of comments. As I said before, this is our 3rd year auditing the village. We started the field work for the audit the week of October 12th, and we were able to get the turnaround November 19th, 2021, which was early ahead of the December 1st deadline. It was on time. This is extremely important. It shouldn't be something that should be taken for granted. I've seen a lot of municipalities where they end up late and it causes a lot of problems. The LGC gets involved and starts looking at it, and it can be an issue. Last year was submitted late in January, so we were able to get it actually early or on time this year before the December 1st deadline, as I said. That was mostly due to the internal controls for the village this year. I will say that the finance staff did a fantastic job assembling everything and getting everything ready for us. The new CPA consultant that was hired, Sharp Patel CPA, did an excellent job, in my opinion. From the outside looking in, they did a great job getting the trial house ready for us out of QuickBooks. They had already made all full accrual entries and getting everything kind of all set up for our audit, so it was a very smooth process. Any questions and concerns I had along the way, they answered very quickly. We only identified 2 journal entries, which is a sign of great record keeping on the village's part. They were just minor journal entries we had to make. The finance officer that's there now, Jamie Bays, I know is a newer finance officer here at the village, but from my point of view, she did a fantastic job in aiding, making sure everything was working smoothly for an audit process. Now, a little thing about turnover, there has been several people in that position over the past couple of years that I've noted. Tone at the top is very important foundation for internal controls and make sure that they're functioning correctly. And this can be an issue when you have a lot of turnover at the top of the chain, because there could be inconsistent messaging across the board. But we noted that this wasn't really too much of an issue when I was going through the internal controls. And then finally, I did note that there were good controls over purchasing relative to other municipalities of this size, specifically credit cards. I will say that the credit cards looked like they were being reviewed super timely and making sure all the receipts were there, which is fantastic. I have a couple of required communication items that I just need to address really quick. Management providing full access to records for anything that we asked for. We had no disagreements with management during the process of our audit. We didn't find any illegal acts or note any illegal acts that occurred during the year, and we did not have any consultations with any other auditors during the process of our audit. If there's no questions about internal controls, I'll go ahead and hit the financial results. And feel free to stop me during any of this part of the financial results here and ask questions if you have them.
We are
I'll just go ahead and say again, the village is showing favorable operating results over the past 7 years. I'm not sure, does everybody have the graphs in front of them? And those types of things? Okay, good. Well, I'll go ahead and start off with what will be on the statement of net position, which I'll get into the graphs in just a moment. The total assets are $14.4 million, total liabilities $1.5 million, and total net position was about $12.9 million. The change in net position, again, this is full accrual, this is the statement of activities up front. The change in net position for fiscal year 21 was $1.2 million, which was presented in the statement of activities, like I said. The majority of that was due to capital grants and contributions in the form of inheriting the NCDOT roads, roughly about the same at $1.2 million. I noticed that management during the year was very diligent, making sure that they're spending within the budgeted amounts. In the general fund, they went under budget by about $239,000. And in the past 3 years audited, there's been no budget overages that we've noted, which is excellent, fantastic, staying within the realm of that budget. The tax collection percentage was 99.6%, which is on par with other municipalities and is very good. I'll go ahead and go into those graphs that you should have in front of you. And I'll just go ahead and start with that first one there. All of these, I want to note, are not the full pool, so this would not include things like depreciation expense and fixed assets and that type of thing. This is just the budgetary statements, if you will. So that first one, the analysis of fund balance for governmental funds. The overall increased about $1 million, roughly 25% in total from the prior year, which is really good. You can see that it's trending upward over the last 7 years. Although the entirety of that is virtually due to the new Village Hall loan, I will note. So you'll see that red bar on the far right has really jumped dramatically this year. The reason that is because the remaining, or we took out a loan for about $1.18 million for the Village Hall and spent maybe about 200,000 and some change. So there's about $1 million left sitting in unspent proceeds, all of which is unrestricted fund balance for the next couple of years, or until it's spent. So going on into month of reserve there in the general fund, you can essentially think of this as an emergency fund. It's essentially just taking the general fund unassigned fund balance, so that would be the fund balance that is not non-expendable, restricted, assigned, or committed for any other purpose. It is unsigned, and you're dividing it by your general fund expenditures for the current fiscal year. It dropped only about 5%, so it's still very healthy at about 11.5 months in reserve. So you have almost a full year sitting in that reserve in the general fund for expenditures, which is very healthy. Moving on to that next statement there, the next graph is cash for across all funds, which is the general fund capital project fund. You will see that 2021 increased by a good chunk, is about 21%, $1.2 million increase. That large increase is primarily due to the unspent loan proceeds of about $1 million, as I stated before. These dollar amounts that jump is likely to be spent within the next fiscal year, and it's probably already being spent now for the construction of the new Village Hall. So that cash may go down next year as comparative to this year, but the unrestricted portion of cash did go up about $200,000, which is very good, still very healthy. So moving on finally to long-term debt, that last graph. And I know that graph looks a little terrifying when you're first glancing at it for debt, because there was a massive increase in debt for this fiscal year, and there was new debt for the 2018, 2019, 2020 fiscal years, which is good. That new debt is the Village loan, Village Hall loan, as I mentioned prior. It's a $1.18 million loan, 15 years, with an interest rate of about 2.3%. No payments were made on it as of the end of 6/30/2021, so the full balance was still outstanding at the end of the year. You're going to have about $100,000 roughly worth of debt service between principal and interest for that 15 years, with 78 to 79,000 of it being principal and the remainder being interest, and that will go down obviously as you're making those payments. And that is it for my graphs and financial analysis. I like to keep it kind of short and sweet. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Again, it was a pleasure working this year with the village. Are there any questions? Okay, that's all I have.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
I think we're muted.
Oh, we are muted. We're muted. Hold on. I didn't want it to echo. There you go.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
I don't think there's any questions for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fresh mind, we're doing 15-year loan,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay. And what's the rate?
2.3.
That is a little scary when you see that.
Well, don't look at the graph.
What's that?
Don't look at it.
Don't look at it,
Don't
then
look
it
at
goes
it.
away?
Yep.
Oh.
You didn't know that's how that
I
works.
don't know how that works the other way. All right.
That's how that works.
Anything else?
Nope, that's
No?
it.
Okay,
If you don't have any questions.
all right. No questions from council? Everyone's
Should
good?
we put reports and updates back really long? I thought that was going to take
Well,
longer.
Well, that was my concern, so, because it's not even close to 6:30. We can, let's just do, let's suspend the rules if
Yeah,
we
move it
would,
back.
and move it back
Okay.
to, because I think we're waiting for
Yeah.
a few guests.
Yeah. You want me to do it?
Is that all right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a motion. Can I make a motion to suspend the rules and amend the agenda back the way it was? So
To the
reports
man.
and updates will be C,
Okay,
and then everything else will be the same.
terrific, thank you.
Okay.
All right,
All's in favor?
all, yeah.
Sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, managers report, Christina.
Okay, so I have a lot.
You just said it was gonna be quick.
No, it's not. It's gonna be long. We'll get eight items. I can go through quick.
Oh, it's fine. Got time.
So at the October 12th meeting, you guys authorized me to enter a contract with SKC, which was our audiovisual contractor, not to exceed $89.99 based off of what was presented to you that night. I actually got the contract down to $88,600. That offer was, sorry, that motion was also contingent upon speaking with other municipalities to see what they're doing. And so subsequently, I did a change order for about $6,500. So the total actually was a little bit higher than what was authorized, but the way the motion was read allowed modifications. So I just wanted to let y'all know that there's a slight modification to that amount that we had previously let y'all know of $89.9.
Is there gonna be any changes because of the doors and or is it, you know, I know they brought something up that it wasn't gonna work with the doors that we had. Is that, it should be a contact thing that.
Right, so that is a different vendor, and that issue was resolved, so that's a non-issue
Okay,
now.
okay.
The main reason for this change order was to basically allow live streaming to happen simultaneously as we're recording it, so that it's easier, we're not having to click, click, click and do all this stuff at the same time. That's really the main change that we made. Council member Wortman and I went to Indian Trail. We saw the functionality of their council chambers. We really liked it. We wanted to make ours model basically what they had, so.
Okay.
That's just an FYI.
All right,
And those funds were coming from ARPA funding, just if y'all recall.
okay.
The next thing is the Village Hall capital project update. Hey, Jamie.
Jamie.
Get one to, Dwayne. So, I know this is kind of hard to see, but basically this front page goes over all the different vendors that have been associated with the project. Over to the far left, you'll see the loan amount that we took out, the total committed, total remaining funds, and we'll go over this in detail in just a second, but you see the green highlighted 34,000? That's basically what remains left in the fund, so we're very close to finishing, we're very close to what we need to finish out the project with 34,000 in excess. So, we're on target. If you flip the page, this next page is basically all the pay apps that we've done to Randolph. We have to date spent, paid $1 million, basically the total loan amount. We have had some change orders that have taken place over the last couple months, which is the next page. Sorry, that's just a carryover, just flip the page from there. These are all the contingency amounts and what's been spent to date. We have a total of 76,000 remaining in fund balance. I'm sorry, in contingency.
What was the road change?
The road change was something that DOT required from the plans. I can't remember exactly. I'd have to go back and look, but
You
it
have
was
to put in a
DOT.
turn lane.
Maybe it was a turn lane.
Where? There's no turn lane.
Potential, I don't know.
I can find out. I'm not, it's been a couple months ago. I'll find out for sure. It was something that they required though.
No, it's
The
just
14,000.
NCDOT road change. I mean, we haven't done anything with the roads.
Any other questions on that stuff? Want to make sure that y'all understand that this does not include any irrigation to the roundabouts. It does not also include landscape lighting, which I've put over to the side as anticipated, $5,000. Could be more, could be less, I'm not sure.
The floor boxes?
We did not, that was for floor boxes. They had an issue with the floor boxes where they had to move them, but these floor boxes were required from the Deus vendor.
Okay,
Actually.
but that's not from when they put them in the
No.
wrong spot. Okay. And then the brick for the ramp?
It's not been approved yet, but it's in here just for monetary purposes. It's $1,700.
Do we know what's happening there?
Yeah, I'm still looking at exactly the design, but they want to add a second row of bricks. So I'm going back and forth right now with the GC and the architect to see if they're going to fill in concrete to the second layer of brick so that it's not 2 layers of bricks just sitting there looking funny. Long story short, for those of you that don't know, is for whatever reason, the plans were approved as they were submitted and created, and they're not ADA compliant on the ramp. Have no idea why. We've been going back and forth with the architect, and he said that it's something the county does sometimes. I mean, they oversee certain projects, certain portions that they will approve, and then they come in on the back end and say, you've got to fix it, or they're not going to issue CO. So, I don't get it, and I fought it for a little while because, you know, the county shouldn't have approved them if they weren't compliant with ADA.
Well, what is the regulation? 48 inches, right?
Yeah.
Clear? Okay, so they built them 48 inches clear, but doesn't give room for the handrail.
That's correct, yeah.
So, to me, that falls back on Urban, because that was a design flaw.
And I haven't approved the CO yet. I mean, if you guys want me to fight it with them, I'll be more than glad to do so, but, you know, it's just one of those things that we've already talked about, and we went round and round about it, so.
I mean, I just feel like we're not the architect. They should know, and they should have designed it properly.
Yeah, I mean, how many of these have they done?
Yeah.
And how does this one get missed? You know,
I mean, I would push back some more with
Okay.
them.
All this to say, basically, if y'all are looking at anything additional as far as contingency is concerned, we need to start having conversations about where we're gonna get the money from, which we can pull it from another, from fund balance or another reserve fund balance that we have. Just giving y'all this to let you know that contingency is starting to run short, and there's not really a whole lot of money left there.
did you kill?
I have built in some anticipated COs, like I mentioned, for electric to the well, which we haven't got a change order amount for that, landscape lighting, and then there's still some furniture to be purchased for the lobbies. We haven't even talked about decor, you know, pictures or anything like that goes into the,
So do we need to pull that from that 34,000 that we have left?
Oh, it has.
I've already got it earmarked in here at
Is that-
50.
Okay, but so then we, after all that, we still have that
Gotta
left.
save that money.
Because if you see here, I've got it anticipated.
Okay, and then so we, after that number, we still have that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Whoever turned in their things.
Any questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Do you know what the mitigation is? What is it, is it a big number to fix making the,
The ramp,
yeah.
1,700.
Urban should pick that up.
Okay.
Any questions on Village Hall Capital Project Fund?
Nope.
Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on to Part F, I mentioned to you guys, maybe individually, or at least I know at the PRG board, that we were potentially looking at a Part F grant. We had talked about it when you had discussions about dog park. We had presented to PRG that we were going to proceed with an application. We talked about some ideas, some discussions about different things that people wanted to see on PRG board and what the community survey yielded in terms of projects. Subsequently, we have spoken to a vendor about getting a plan that's required for the project. And they have advised us that the plan, number one, is $30,000 to $40,000. Number two, it takes a good year to develop this plan because it's a very comprehensive public involvement process. His advisement at this time was to wait until we get that plan completed and then submit for an actual full application.
So next year,
Yeah, so we'll
Like-
come.
23.
23.
Okay.
We'll come back to you guys with the amount for the plan if you want to proceed with it, but the reality of it is the comprehensive plan that he's talking about is a good 20 points on the Part F grant, so if we don't have it, we could still submit, but we're not going to have a very competitive application.
Okay. And
So,
that gives us some more money, some more time to find some more money
Yeah.
to match. Okay.
so until then, we're going to kind of push that off on hold. We'll get the contract amount for you guys for the plan, see if you want to proceed with it, and then we'll start talking about Part F in 23.
Okay.
Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Cancel priority forms, I submitted those to you all, but probably 3 weeks ago, maybe a little bit less. They're also included in your cancel packets. I received 2 back. Whenever you get a chance, make sure you get them done so that I can prepare them for our retreat in February. Basically, for those that are listening at home and those that may be new, these priority forms basically allow us as staff to develop our capital improvement plan for the next 5 years, depending on what cancel priorities are. From there, we develop a discussion item at our budget retreat, and that dictates what we put in the budget for next year. So, Any questions?
Nope.
Okay, so platforms, meeting with the county. So meeting with the county and meeting with Congressman Bishop. As you all have seen it in your text or emails, I've been trying to schedule a meeting with the county regarding the roundabout. We still have yet to plan that meeting. It'll likely be in the beginning of January. I'll let you know as soon as I get that scheduled. Meeting with Representative Bishop. Again,
Says to be at a meeting.
30 minutes late.
The whole time.
I think my wife did that.
I've been trying to plan the meeting with Congressman Bishop for a couple months now. The main reason y'all wanted to have this meeting was for the infrastructure bill, which was a bipartisan bill that's already passed. I'm trying to get some information on that. From my understanding, what I've been told is this bill is basically going to create grant opportunities for local governments to fund water, sewer infrastructure projects, potentially even roads. And it will be contingent upon a competitive process. It's not going to be free money that we get. We'll have to actually apply for it. So I'll get some more information on that. But if y'all have other topics that you want to meet with Congressman Bishop about, just be thinking about that, because the infrastructure bill is already passed. There's not really a whole lot that he can do at this point in terms of helping us get that passed. It's already done. We can ask him questions about it, but aside from that, just be thinking of anything else. Again, that meeting will likely take place in January, and I'll let you know for sure when I get that scheduled. The last thing that I have is the NCDOT agreement. As you know, we've modified our roundabout agreement for the Newtown Marvin Road roundabout several times. Subsequently to the most recent financial contributions we've had from DOT, I think it was about $60,000 in funding that they found, and then another 110 that our state legislator rallied up to get designated towards us. We're going to amend our current agreement to lessen our total impact. So we'll have that contract hopefully in January, so y'all can approve that. That is all I have. Any other questions, comments? That's it.
Council, thank you. All right. Moving on, next up we have planners report.
All right, I got a few things for you guys. I included a code enforcement update at your spot. Those are just the ongoing cases and completed cases. The ones that are in red, I have asked James, our code enforcement officer, to give me an update on the situation. Some of them have been, I think it was a lot of property maintenance have been like mowed partly and then not, but still not fully compliant. So, and now that it's winter, it's kind of, you know, is what it is, but those are still kind of ongoing / getting updates on. But if there's any questions on those, I'd be happy to answer either now or just at any time. I've got 3 planner things though real quick. One, the Belgrove Trail. Developer got me a quote for the fee in lieu for that trail. PRG recommended approval to council for that, and that will be on your guys' agenda for consideration during the January meeting. Railroad Cell Tower, the one that's finally kind of hopefully getting somewhere. It did go to planning board with the county last week. The planning board did not, they recommended to the commissioners not to approve the application. It still goes to the commissioners for a vote. There'll be a public hearing and public hearing at their first meeting in January, and then from my understanding, the way they'll consider it that night, or they'll table it and then consider it at their meeting 2 weeks later. And so then at that time, we will have either, you know, the final outcome, or potentially they can deny it and request for some modifications and so on, and then they can, the applicant can, you know, go back and amend their application and go back through that process. The final thing is the roundabout lighting for the existing 2 roundabouts. DOT's got it, we've got it approved. No additional cost for the village. It's just going to be, basically we're just going to be paying the cost of the, I think it was 11 or 13 street lights. The currently they just have to get encroachment or agreements with Fincher and then us, and then they should be installed. So that should be up and coming. But DOT has approved that lighting plan. So
who are we waiting on?
they have
Union Power?
they have to get an easement.
The survey.
Another one? No
I
jokes,
think, yeah,
Jamie, no
Union,
jokes.
Union Power is the ones that are now reaching out. They're, like I said, Fincher's the only one. He's aware of it.
But Union Power's going to them, or,
Yeah, they're the ones that have to enter within the encroachment agreement.
okay, so have we
the
gotten
easement.
hours from them yet?
No. I just got this information 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, they should have given us the encroachment agreement by then.
Well, they said they were getting Fincher's first trust. I don't know. I
Okay.
said, but I'll follow up again. But at least DOT was the big holdup,
Okay,
but they've approved it. So
cool,
so hopefully by the beginning of the
We're
year.
paying for 13
11.
or 11?
Well, yeah, I don't have it in front. I think it was 11 or 13, but it's
What are they?
only the monthly cost to run the power to it, which I think was like a 10.
$20.
Yeah, I think it was total like going to be between $100 and $200 monthly for the electrical bill.
We budgeted 2,500, so we're good.
Okay.
Because originally we were potentially going to have to put in breakaway strike poles in
Right.
certain areas because it was going to encroach in the right of way. However, they got to where all the poles are being proposed are outside of the right of way, and so there does not have to be that breakaway structure for that DOT requires.
The poles they're gonna use are already there.
Yes, and then the
They-
ones installed are just they're not
Easy
no
to-
cost
okay.
because it's just
Cool.
regular kind of telephone
Okay.
power poles. And then later on, if we want to come back and do something prettier, I mean,
Okay.
that's something we can do, but at least we'll have the lighting started.
So can we keep the 2,500 for that one when we eventually get it? Just keep 2,500 in the budget, so when we get that one.
You mean add more in for next
No,
year?
just leave, because if this one's, oh yeah, how much did you say? Yeah, add more for that one.
Well, we're not gonna have a choice on what it looks like, pretty much.
Not right now.
We could, but we would have to we would have to spend the additional funds for the aesthetic.
So we can do that as we work on the Heritage District.
Correct.
Okay.
And I'll mention once we'll see where this other roundabout, but I'll go ahead and then try to get that process going, so then potentially it all gets done at once.
Yes, that would be perfect.
Well, the MHD lighting would more than likely be the pedestrian style.
Correct.
The smaller ones, which would have to be breakaway, and it would be in our right of way, so we wouldn't have to
Go
do
through
anything
that.
additional.
No, but I
we-
think Hunter's saying, so when they build that roundabout, let's put the poles and get everything done
That's what-
while they're
yeah.
building that one.
We've already started working on that.
Oh, okay.
And that was one of the things that we were working with Representative Willis on, trying to get them to pay for it. Because they have already said that they will allow it, but we have to pay for it. So that's something I'll follow
Okay.
back up with Willis on.
All right, good.
But other than that, that's all I got unless there's
And
any
just to
questions.
back up, the county is voting on the tower when?
January, I think I don't have my count.
That's
There's,
right.
there's
It
2
is.
dates in January.
Yeah, it's the first Tuesday.
I just worry, even if
Is
they,
it-
even if they
potentially,
say
I think it's the
no,
4th, January 4th.
even if they say no, there's still can be contested by the company, right?
Well, they can go back and change their plans.
January 4th, yeah, it's the public hearing. Well, as in contested, it's not, with it not being
Legally.
quasi judicial, it's just a legislative decision. I mean, they can try to fight it, but they don't really have
But they
Much
could
to
go in,
stand
and-
on.
but they could go in and change their
Legislative,
plans,
they've
right?
got to, show there's no reasonable basis to
Okay.
uphold the decision.
Okay. Good. All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Any questions? All right, moving on, roads report.
I just have one quick update, well, actually 2 updates. Number 1 is in your consent agenda, you'll see an item for moving some funding around for POW bill. Basically, what that was is we had appropriated in the budget, I think it was $115,000 for our match that came out of POW bill reserved. We're actually going to be pulling that from fund balance, just general fund balance, not POW bill reserved. So just wanted to let y'all know that. It's in your consent agenda. Second thing is the brine policy. I know I'd let you guys know we were coming back to you all with a brine policy. We're working on that. We'll have it in January. If some type of storm event comes between now and January, we'll make sure that the emergency roads get addressed that are village owned, and we'll just do a budget amendment later. Not a problem there.
Okay. Any questions? Moving on, deputies report. What you got for us?
Not much. What do you need?
That's good.
There was an obnoxious party the other night.
It was handled, took care of it. On the quiet there, we'll do it. I don't know, if y'all have any questions on it, it's not much. Really, yeah.
No, I saw you guys out there today.
We were trying to slow
I
people
know.
down.
Did
We
you
got
get anybody?
About 7 items, so.
Nice.
The only question that I have, Mason, is radar lights that we ordered recently. Can you give us an update real quick on that? Do you know anything?
I don't know anything about it.
Okay. I know the encroachment agreements were approved. If y'all recall, I brought to you the little radar signs that blink and say, slow down, you're going this fast. We're putting those up on Newtown and Waxhaw Marvin. There's 2 locations that were identified with y'all's help. We subsequently
No,
got approval.
Or Marvin Road.
Marvin and.
Marvin,
County.
okay. With DOT, those encroachment agreements were approved, and Derek is installing those, I think, this week.
Just as
So,
soon as possible.
just letting y'all know.
Awesome.
All right.
Those record.
There's a lot of information we can pull from them.
That'll help you guys a lot then.
No, we can keep track of it.
So that would have recorded that Mustang that went by.
Noted.
this
Possible. Possible.
One thing,
Could have been me.
It
No, it
wasn't-
wasn't you.
It wasn't convertible, so.
No.
one quick thing that I'll mention, and we can bring this up, I'll bring this up later at a work session, but just while we're on this topic, is I have asked the vendor the cost for if we ordered a bunch of them at one time. I know there's a lot of subdivisions that will come in and ask for speed humps and, you know, for us to patrol their areas more, or even to put up the temporary speed radar in their subdivisions, which is actually broke and it's non-functioning right now. That's something that, you know, you can communicate to the HOAs if they ask about these things, is we can get them for their subdivisions if they want to pay for them, so.
Okay.
Anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 a unit, depending on how many we buy at the same time.
And also I was gonna add I know I missed the last meeting, but the camera. So.
It's on January work
Yeah,
session.
yeah. Just try to reach out to Chile for that.
It's,
I'm trying.
I've talked to a couple of other HOA presidents and they're interested in doing it, so, yeah.
Sounds good.
I think we're good. Any questions? Bob, you don't have anything?
I don't. Everything sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, Mason.
Thank you.
Mason.
Thanks, Mason. Next up, we have Planning Board Chair Report. I know Chairman Jones he texted me, said he will be out of town, even though I know we're doing the Heritage District. He said he would be available, so if anyone has any questions for him, you can phone a friend, I guess. But any questions, or anyone update us on the last meeting? Bob?
Hunter, do you want to take that, or?
Basically, the last meeting was fully to go through the form-based code language, and we actually were originally going to allow for 2 meetings and recess to go through it all. We were able to go through it all in that one meeting, and planning board unanimously recommended approval, and so that
Oh,
will
they
be.
did?
Yeah, so that will be presented. It's in your consent agenda to call for that public hearing, and that will be presented, or the public hearing and for consideration at your January meeting.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you. That said, we'll move on to PRG Board Chair Report. John Barisic, I don't show
He's not
here. And who's the liaison?
DQ right.
You are.
You're gonna be me.
We're gonna all change that, you know, aren't we?
No.
After today.
We had a great event on Saturday at the park. Santa and the fire trucks and the sheriff's office and, arrived safely at the park. Great tree lighting event. We just need to get more people out. And then the biggest thing that they're working on right now is Marvin Day, and I know we're talking about that later, so we'll go over that when we get to it. That's it.
Best Santa ever.
Best Santa ever.
Just saying.
Really good.
We had a lot in common, Santa and I,
Yeah,
so.
it was on time and
Yeah, no, good guy, really, really nice guy, so. And very engaged with the neighbors.
Yep.
And neighborhood. Okay, great. All right, so next up, we have consent agenda. I'll need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
so moved.
All's in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, organizational session is the next in line, and that is the oath of office for mayor is the first one, so. Read slow when you read.
I made him print it out for me.
You did print one out.
No, you don't get the cheat.
Jen, you want to hold the Bible? Sure. It's not that my kids didn't want to be here, they actually had school functions. So
Sure they didn't. You should probably do it so you're on camera.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So we know that it's actually you saying all the words.
on the
What am I
side.
doing?
I was gonna write
Good answer.
right? Okay.
You just need some music. You're not giving me anything to do.
I'm not.
Oh, my. I've only been doing this, this will be my 5th time. Okay. All right.
Okay. I, Joseph Ermely Polino Jr.,
I, Joseph Ermely Polino Jr.,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and laws of the United States,
and laws of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities
and authorities
which are or may be established for the government thereof,
which are or may be established for the government thereof,
that I will endeavor to support,
and I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of said state,
and laws of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my
to
knowledge
the best of my
and
knowledge
ability,
and ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my
the
office
duties of my office
as mayor of the Village of Marvin,
as mayor of the Village of Marvin,
so help me God.
so help me God. That was, fun.
And we need to
Now that you know my Italian middle name, that was, you had to put that in there, right?
Yes, it did. Just need to sign that.
Okay. All right, I'm
Now that you are
official. 2
sworn
more
in.
years, right?
Uh-huh.
I get to do this.
Now that you are sworn in, your turn.
All right, Kimberly, where do you want to go?
My own copy.
You guys want to hold it?
Hey, you wanna hold the Bible for me, buddy? Where's the
Nick,
Bible?
on the table.
You left the Bible. What am I doing? Right up? Which one up?
Left hand down, right hand, raise your right
Okay,
hand.
hold it like that.
Repeat after me. I, Kimberly Bach Vandenberg,
I, Kimberly Bach Vandenberg,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
which are or may be established for the government thereof,
which are or may be established for the government thereof,
that I will endeavor to support,
that I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend the Constitution and laws of said state,
maintain, and defend the Constitution and laws of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and
to
ability,
the best of my knowledge and ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
as council member for the Village of Marvin, so help me God.
as council member for the Village of Marvin, so help me God.
Congratulations. All right. You need to sign this.
Oh, okay, just don't say my name. Make sure you say your name like that.
Okay.
Andy.
Is there anyone here to hold?
Actually, you don't get to read
I
it.
don't get to read it.
No. Only Kim gets to cheat.
Congratulations, Kim.
Thanks, Bob.
Congrats.
Are you gonna sign it now?
I'm gonna sign it now.
You can watch us sign it.
That's gonna help you out.
Yes.
All right. Left hand on the Bible and right hand up. All right. I, Andrew Charles Workman. I, Andrew Charles Workman. Do solemnly and sincerely swear. Do solemnly and sincerely swear. That I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States. That I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States. That I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina. And to the constitutional powers and authorities. And to the constitutional powers and authorities. Which are or may be established for the government thereof. Which are or may be established for the government thereof. That I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend.
that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend
the Constitution and laws of said state,
the Constitution and laws of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
consistent with the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
as council member for the Village of Marvin,
as council member of the Village of Marvin.
to help me God.
So help me God.
All right, congratulations.
Sign on the dotted line.
All right, sign here and then pass it down.
Congratulations, Andy.
Thank you.
All right, you got wings?
And our
Yes.
final, who we got? You have your own Bible, I think, right? Okay. We got a crew in here.
Oh, the family Bible. Wayne, don't forget, say your name, don't say mine. Oops, sorry.
Wow, that's a cool Bible. Wow, that's pretty cool. Family one, huh? Yes. All right, left hand, right hand up. Okay. So let me put that there, right? All right. I, Owen Wayne Dethridge,
I, Owen Wayne Dethridge,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina,
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
and to the constitutional powers and authorities
which are or may be established for the government thereof,
which are or may be established for the government thereof.
that I will endeavor to support,
I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend the Constitution
maintain, and defend the Constitution
and laws of said state,
and laws of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
and I will faithfully discharge the duty of my office
as council member for the Village of Marvin,
as council member of the Village of Marvin.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. All right.
Good
You want
job.
a picture with them? Sure. A few seconds to take. You guys need a picture?
Mike's like, nope, we don't need a picture. I think we're all set, thanks.
Oh, me? I guess I'm part of it. I'm not making kids.
It's like, no, we're good.
Can you see everybody's face? That's the thing.
Thanks for taking pictures.
Big deal.
That's what you have when you have grandchildren.
Thank you. Love you. Come on, Jason. Yeah. He's like, don't sign mine. Sigh. I'm gonna go get Mason his cheesecake before he goes.
All right.
And Joe, I'll need you to sign all the ones you did. All the ones you missed, you got to sign.
Thank you.
Smells good back there. Ask Austin. I don't want.
What happened?
It's at your desk. What's wrong? What's wrong? Desk? He needs a. We're almost done with that side. You want to flip it over?
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you later then.
Meetings used to go till like 1 in the morning. I'll make sure I have home by 10.
And then I'll sign yours.
You need to go to the doctor.
Still? Oh my God.
You need to go to the doctor.
All right. Welcome, Lee. All right, moving forward, let's see, we have, first up, we need to call, wait, no, we have, appointment of Mayor Pro Tem. All right, so that's usually, we can change it, Kim has been the existing, someone can make, right, can propose somebody else and stuff, but I'll make a motion to keep, can I make a motion as a mayor? I can't
Yeah, can't you
vote.
make a motion, can you?
Can he make a motion, Chaplain?
The Florida motion.
You're supposed to
All
open
right,
to
I'll open the
nominations.
floor to nominations then.
I'll make a motion that Kim remains Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay. All right. Anyone else?
I second it.
Okay.
Nobody else wants to do it? Come on.
I'm good with it.
You're the quickest. We don't want to stop.
All right.
Chop, chop, buttercups. Let's go.
So,
Motion to
no
appoint
more
Kim.
discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Get it over for
So,
myself.
yes,
Okay.
Kim.
Gotta do it, Joe.
What's that?
One more. Make sure this is the right one. Yes, it is.
All right. Remember.
Do I have to do it on the Bible?
Yes.
I'll hold it. You want to call your husband?
Your new office.
He was thrilled.
She doesn't get to cheat this time.
I, Kimberly Bach Vandenberg,
I, Kimberly Bach Vandenberg,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina
that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities which are or may be established
and the authorities which are or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
that I will endeavor to support,
that I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend the Constitution
maintain, and defend the Constitution
and laws of said state,
and laws of said state,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and
to the
ability,
best of my knowledge and ability,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office
as Mayor Pro Tem for the Village of Martin.
as Mayor Pro Tem for the Village of Martin. So help me God.
All right, sign this.
Congrats, Mayor Pro Kim.
Thank you. I know, I really need to put that on my hard hat.
We don't even have to change the sign or anything.
Should get you an embroidered hat for your birthday.
All right.
And he's got a sign.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
We are good there. Moving on to
My pen now, so I can give it back.
appointment of council liaisons to Planning Board, PR&G Board, and MHD Committee Board.
I would like to stay on Parks Rec and Greenway. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Okay, anyone else want to nominate for Parks Record Greenway?
I'd like to nominate myself.
Okay.
I'm good with Kim being
Anyone
the
opposed to
liaison.
that?
Bushes.
So I'll make a motion to, I need a motion to have Mayor Pro Tem Kim Vandenberg, the liaison for PR&G.
So moved.
All's in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to,
Motion
I'd like
passes.
to stay on the planning board.
Okay.
I'd like to nominate myself to stay on the planning board.
Anyone opposed?
Nope.
Anyone adding? Another nomination? Okay, I'll need a motion to allow
Bob.
Mark Elise
Far away.
to the planning board liaison.
So moved.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. This age is killing me.
I know, really.
Your
All
lord.
right.
Or your age.
My
His age. His old age.
So I need a nomination for the MHD Committee Board.
Andy, you wanna stay on
I
it?
would be glad to stay on that if
All right.
you all would.
So I'll make a motion to have Andy Warman stay on as the MHD person. Liaison.
Any other nominations, further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have the appointment of delegate and alternate to serve on CRTPO.
You not?
Keep it the same,
Keep it the same?
okay? So I'm the
You're the.
You're the delegate.
lead delegate, and you'll be the alternate,
All right,
okay?
so I'll make a motion to have Mayor Polino as the delegate and Councilmember Lyon as the alternate to serve on the CRTPO board.
Further discussion or nominations? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we'll need an appointment of delegate and alternate to the Central Line Regional Council Board of Delegates.
Who does that
That was
now?
you.
I was the delegate.
Who was the alternate? Joe?
Joe and I were WUMA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Wayne, you want to do that? Centralina? Centralina Regional?
Centralina Regional, they meet.
We're up in Salisbury. It's a pretty good drive.
Is it all the way in Salisbury?
Yeah.
Not yet.
No.
No, it's not. When you said Salisbury, I'm like, wait a minute, yeah. It's about a 40-minute drive when you have to go there, and it's not maybe not even quarterly.
It's quarterly. They serve
Yeah.
dinner. They got all.
Yeah.
Wayne's like, I'm signing up.
Yeah, you just each show up. I usually go for the dinners. No, it's a good group that tie into the state and stuff like that. So it's a good entry into, coming into the village as a council member. So, all right. So I'll need a motion to approve.
To appoint.
Wayne Deathridge to the Central Line Regional Council Board of Delegates
Is he the alternate or delegate?
as the delegate,
And then Jamie, you want to be the alternate?
Sure.
Okay.
and have Jamie Lyon be the alternate to, again, Central Line Regional Council Board of Delegates. All's in favor? All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And finally, we have the appointment and delegate of alternate to Bluma. So I'm happy to stay on for that. If you want to be the alternate.
Myself as well.
Okay. We'll need a motion for that.
Make a motion to have Mayor Polino and Councilmember Wortman as the delegate and alternate respectively for WUMA.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Got all that, Austin?
I got it shorthand, so I'll get it later.
Okay.
All
All right. Here we go.
Usually
Public
get a
hearing is next up on the agenda. Reconvene the public hearing to consider adoption of the Marvin Heritage Small District Area Plan. Hunter.
All right. Yep.
we
So
need to-
we
Motion to open the public.
Yeah, we need a motion to open the public comments.
Public hearing. Public hearing.
Well, it
So
says
moved.
public
I
comments.
know, but.
Public hearing first.
So moved.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Is anyone,
But I guess can I give, an overview background, and then then we can
Do public comments
do
then?
public comments or
Sure.
anything for them to ask questions.
yep,
So what's being presented tonight is the small area plan for the Marvin Heritage District. Just a quick, rundown. Back in May or June, when the form-based code was being presented to you guys and got tabled, and then I started in July. This was kind of one of the recommendations that Tom and I, kind of presented. Small area plans are basically guides for specific areas intended to kind of provide that more detail and than our normal kind of 2020 land use plan. And for that specific area, and this plan kind of addresses the uniqueness of this area, the opportunities, and some of the surrounding properties and concerns. The Marvin Heritage District Small Area Plans, to be honest, is really nothing. What's being presented is nothing new that council hasn't seen before. It's basically kind of an executive summary, as Austin likes to call it, of the form-based code language. Typically, the plan comes first, and then the actual regulatory language. We kind of did a little backwards, so we kind of already had a good draft of that form-based code when I started, so this was kind of easy to put together. This will be presented and, if adopted, be an amendment to our 2020 land use plan, so it becomes part of that specific plan even further. All the goals and recommendations in this plan are already outlined in our adopted 2020 land use plan. It also kind of updates the future land use map for the Heritage District. Our current overall Village of Marvin future land use map already identifies the same boundary as the Village Center District. So what this does is kind of then reiterate that and then gets into those specific parcel future land use designations. Once again, future land use, just to clarify, does not mean that that's what specifically is going to happen. That is what, based off of the information and stuff that staff and the boards have put together, that is the recommendation, meaning that if we receive a rezoning application, recall everything's got to, we look at, see if it's consistent or inconsistent with the land use plan. So now this kind of even goes in further for specific rezoning applications for the Heritage District. You have the district itself, and then you have the specific land uses within this presented plan. And just also want to clarify, if this plan gets adopted, doesn't change anything currently. It all the properties still stay underlying residential, and because then the second step would the form-based code would be adopted to actually establish the district, and then still the property owners have to rezone. But those are kind of, a brief overview.
But to be clear, if this does get passed and stuff, we may see some activity with some of the landowners.
Once the form-based code gets adopted, this is the first.
Which that's in January.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
It's public hearing is now set for your January 11th meeting. So that was adopted in the consent agenda. But yes, this is the first step. It's kind of the foundation of that form-based code. It's now what, when you consider the form-based code, it's now consistent. It's consistent with this plan because this plan was kind of derived from the form-based code. But it's as well, it's consistent with our land use plan because once everything that's in our land use plan as well is in this plan. The other thing that this does is that it incorporates the public survey and the 2020 identifying Marvin, the NC growth thing that was presented to you guys last year as an appendix of this, and that will also then be incorporated into our land use plan. So it's kind of doing a lot of good things here because one thing the state always, I think the way 160D is that you must regularly update your land use plan, but there's no type of given of what that means. And so this is kind of actually taking that step and kind of killing two birds with one stone, showing that we're always kind of updating and trying to update the recommendations or goals, or if we, this is kind of changing that because it's identified as the village center district. So now that we've kind of got that established as the heritage district and so on, we're kind of just clarifying it and building it consistent. That's really kind of the general overview. I will mention that planning board, this went to planning board and the Heritage Committee District, or the Marvin Heritage District Strategic Planning Committee. Back in September, October. The committee recommended approval unanimously. The planning board recommended approval 5-2. Basically,
but then we just approved the form-based code.
Yeah, there was some clarification stuff between the meetings that the two planning board members that voted against the small area plan, where we were able to kind of get them up to speed and everything. But once again, because this is the first step, and it's a very small step because it's not the regulatory language. That's the form-based code that will be presented next month.
For the maps on 16, 17, and 18, like, I know it says like is generalized and whatever. Can we just put the wording there like subject to change? Like, just so it's not so like, just, see at the bottom where it's like highlighted. Can we just add subject to change on these three maps?
Yeah.
Just so people aren't like, well, that's not what it originally said. And I'm good with the rest of it.
And that's the other thing I'll mention. The future land use map that's presented in the small area plan is the same map that you guys have seen before that was being presented with the form-based code. The only two changes were taking the church parking lot, the Philbrook and the Owens property, and putting them as mixed use. All that is doing is originally identified it as civic and then existing. In the form-based code language, we took out the existing because really there was no reason to. We updated other languages to not make that confusing on that specific district. Why it's identified as mixed use is because in the original proposed existing building was basically it allowed the same uses as the mixed use district with special conditions. And so that's kind of then what you guys will take into consideration is that it's mixed use is identified as, can be residential or some type of potential commercial retail use. So those two properties specifically identified as mixed uses, that's why it is, because it does give them that option to, I mean, one, they can remain residential now, but it does, if they upfit it or whatever for residential use, that's a permitted use in a mixed use district, as well as some of those light commercial, which all the uses that I'm referring to will be presented in that form-based code.
And can you touch on the tax base, when that goes into effect? Sorry.
So so that was one thing when that I think was in one of the reports that it was recommended that an MSD be established of a 25-cent tax rate to pay for the infrastructure and upkeep. That is a recommendation in this plan, meaning that, as in the long run, that's not going to be something that's going to be established. I mean, like I said, once you establish the district potentially next month, that doesn't mean we're rezoning all the properties, because we still have to wait.
Nothing changes then either.
Correct. The reason that it's as a recommendation in here, in the long run, that goal and vision of this area kind of developing within these means and what we want to see within the village center, that a MSD at a not 25 cent, but some, obviously it would be an additional probably anywhere from 0 to 5 or 6 cent for these specific properties. To then, and those funds will then be used to upkeep, maintain the infrastructure, the sidewalk, the landscaping,
Lighting.
all of that. And because that's what the MSDs, that's what they are made for, is that it's a municipal service district. All the money that is taken out of that is supposed to be put right back into that district for improvements. So a tax district is not going to be established once this district is potentially voted or established next month. But it is recommended in the long run, as development happens and we get to a point, that we then maybe establish that district, so then we can make sure funds are available to upkeep the area.
Okay, so that's something that we don't have to worry about right now.
No.
Okay.
Mayor, if I may, this is an advisory thing, and it was noted in the memo, which I think was great, that it's just it's a guideline for you to make future decisions, but the future decisions will come back before you, so there will be an affirmative vote, such as the district and any fees and any zoning. So this is a guideline to help you make those decisions, but it's not the ultimate decision.
Correct. Chaplain said it perfectly. Like, if this gets approved and adopted tonight, this becomes another thing that, when the form-based code is presented, that you look at for being consistent with when those rezoning applications come in the future. If the district gets established, you have those sets of guidelines and principles both in our land use plan, in this plan specifically, and then the regulatory language within the form-based code to then make that decision of approving that rezoning and development request.
It's just another tool in our toolbox to make sure that we're.
And is there anything we have to go back and correct on our original,
Land use plan.
because I know it was a lot of it was confusing, and it contradicted,
Maybe
and
clean
there
that
was
up.
years ago, we
on
spent like $50,000 to
Yeah.
get that cleaned up and stuff. How is,
One of the steps.
Ordinances?
It's not talking about land use.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Are you talking about
You're
ordinances?
talking about ordinances. The
yeah.
land,
The land use plan makes goals and recommendations that are
Right.
supposed to drive legislative, ordinance changes or recommendations. In my position at staff, once the form-based code gets, now that it's almost on my plate, I've already told planning board, I told them this in the last meeting, that's something that I think we have that table, or on our January meeting schedule, is that we're gonna go through the land use plan and kind of do not a CIP, but a prioritization on some of those goals and recommendations that are in that land use plan. So then we can start working on recommendations to present to you guys for ordinance revisions.
okay.
Good.
Okay.
So do we want to open up public comments now?
You already voted to do
No, I
it?
know, but I'm saying like.
Yeah, so now if there's, I guess,
Well, is there any questions from council?
Not right now.
Okay, so then, I see a few people out there in web land, so anybody that wants to speak, we normally have you state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Anyone want to do it? You can unmic your mic.
Going
Second
once?
here to give them a second to find it. Sometimes for
Going
guys
twice?
like me, it takes time.
Did you want to?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind saying something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
All right. So no one in webland, but we have a guest here. Yeah, you can just go to the podium, it's fine. Thank you. Just state your name, address, and any comment you have.
Yeah, Robbie Smith, I'm court concession here at Banks Presbyterian Church. We own the man's here that is currently the Village of Marvin Town Hall. We've been, you've been a paying tenant, and we would like to see what our options are moving forward. We want to be a good neighbor for the Village of Marvin, but we want to understand what can we use that for. Some of our options would be to tear it down. Other options would be to put a ministry in there. That could be a food bank, could be a healthcare ministry, could be a landing pad for other ministries that come in. Do we need to upfit it in any way? Is it good enough as is? So, our session is actively looking at what we can do with that. We want to at least try to have a situation where we can be cash flow neutral. We don't want to lose money. So we want to kind of understand what the board here, where your heart is, and just because we have to make these decisions sooner than later, because you guys will be out in roughly 2 months. So I'd love to hear any comments or.
How would you sign this?
Yes.
No, I talked to them briefly at the beginning.
And just for purposes of staying with the meeting and the agenda and stuff, we have a rule that we don't kind of engage. It's just public comments for public comments and stuff. But because would it be allowed though, Chaplain, to just throw out some ideas or questions now? Because it is still in the public hearing.
We're still in the public hearing, and if y'all want.
So this is a little different than just a public comment.
Yeah, public comments usually at the beginning of the meetings where they make comments, and there's
right.
no dialogue here. If they make
Right.
comments, and especially if council wants a response, we can look into that. And I think that's a good thing for y'all to know.
Right. Because I'd like to hear if there's anyone. Go ahead.
So, on kind of to answer the question, in simple terms, once again, the underlying zoning of residential remains until, the applicant wants to rezone to the district it wants established. Which that means whatever, the permitted uses in our current residential district and so on, are allowable. This property, as well as the current Village Hall site, is identified in the future land use map as a civic use. So really what this does for the church is it actually probably opens up opportunity for you guys, as in just with how you guys want to proceed. One, if you want to stay in the underlying residential, as long as it's permitted, but that we can make that work, you don't have to go through the rezoning process. If it's something that you guys want to do, if it's retrofitting or some type of other use within the civic means, and you do go through that rezoning process, and then it can be rezoned to the Heritage District with that civic use, and that can be discussed at that time of that rezoning. Then our next meeting next month, we'll have more of those outlined when the form-based code is presented. But I can also get you a draft, and we could sit down and discuss. But if you would like to, then now, have that discussion. I just wanted to kind of clarify on that.
I think from my standpoint is to your point is I always looked at it as you guys having more opportunities to do certain things, and I think knowing this council and stuff that we would most likely support anything. I love the idea of a food bank or something like that. I thought it might be for maybe staff or the preacher or whatever, living accommodations. We weren't sure what it was going to be, but I'd love to hear what your committee that you have, if you guys discussed actual, other than like food bank, or you're just...
We're just, there's been all type of things discussed.
Okay. Because you could do nothing and that would, right? They could just keep it as it is and...
They can keep it...
Well, the challenge is if we keep it as is and do nothing with it, we're going to lose revenue and money because you have the cost of ownership.
Yep.
If we can put somebody in there, I don't think we want to put in a residential renter because it's just too much for us to manage. The risk is greater than the reward. But if we could find a ministry partnership, we do a lot with jars. We do a lot with food banks. We do a lot with other healthcare related ministries within Union and Mecklenburg County.
It's almost like another office facility for that?
It could be. I mean, we're in the very early stages of talking.
Okay.
So we just, we're never gonna put in a McDonald's or anything along those lines. It would be something that would be conducive to what we're doing at our church.
Sure.
Ministry related. I mean, it could be a place where missionaries from JARS come and it's a landing pad for 2 weeks.
Okay. Like quarters for them to stay at? you
Could
mean?
be.
Okay.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
There's also possibility where these people come in and they need to have medical care, and there might need to be a doctor there providing healthcare services to them. It would never be a medical Novant healthcare or anything like that, but it could be, there could be a retired doctor that could be working there providing these. So we just want to understand,
Right.
what does that look like?
Yeah.
Could we have a doctor here or a nurse here providing COVID testing or other diagnostic type testing
Right.
to the community?
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's a current list of permitted uses. It's in our current ordinance right now.
Yeah.
Hunter will be happy to get those to you so you can understand what exactly is allowed right now.
Yeah, and just I think to reiterate what the mayor said, I think this district, the small area plan and having once the district established does open up more opportunities. And it's still for those, that parcel specifically does have that civic designation, meaning that it's still focused to be around community-based and civic
Which
uses.
is, I think,
so
where you guys are going.
exactly. So
I think we're all on the same page.
yeah, so we can kind of have that conversation. I'll be happy to get you my card and everything.
Yeah, that's good. We just want to make sure when we have our discussions, we're not handcuffed back here.
Yeah.
And we have wings and we can
A
fly.
little bit of flexibility on that. Yep.
Yeah, but thank you guys so
Okay.
very much.
Appreciate you speaking up. Thank you. Any other questions from council? All right, I'll need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Now we need to,
I'd like to make a motion to approve the Marvin Heritage District Small Area Plan
without any
As
further
amended.
discussion?
as amended.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
you want me to add
100%.
those three.
Yep, thank you.
Any other
Matt.
changes from council? Bob? Jamie?
No.
Wayne? All good? All right. Motion's on the table. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. One small step. Right? For the village.
All right, come on, let's go.
All right. I'm already getting kicked from the new mayor pro tem. Next up, we have Village Hall.
Yep.
What do we got?
Real quick, just you've seen activity going on down there. Irrigation contractor began last week. There were some issues with COVID with his crew, so they started later than usual. Painter is there now. He should finish up this week.
Inside or outside?
Exterior.
Inside.
Finishing up exterior walls.
I thought they were
Well,
inside.
They are
interior, it's
too.
interior and exterior. Plumber, electrical, mechanical should all be there doing their fixtures. Final fence contractor's going in this week. Generator pad location is scheduled right now. They actually sent some emails this week about that, so they should be finishing up that. And then aluminum storefront installation is getting materials delivered. Installation should start this week
What
as
is
well.
that for?
That should be like the door, the nice front door.
The nice front door's
The
in.
two lobby doors.
Oh,
The glass, they've left them out purposely so they could maneuver in and out of there without tearing them up.
Interior,
The interior,
not the
yeah, lobby
exterior
doors.
ones. The exterior ones are up and painted.
Okay, it says storefront, so it must, okay.
It's like a
Interior.
storefront door,
Yeah.
the glass doors.
And that's all I have, other than the capital project fund ordinance that, or capital project update that I gave y'all earlier.
Okay.
Our
Any other
design-
questions?
Our design committee needs to convene to discuss the furniture finishes for the lobby and then decor, so we'll schedule that.
So the only thing I'll bring up is discussion that Andy and I had and regarding the lighting. So when we start looking at landscape lighting, yes, you talked about putting in just the lines and then picking out fixtures and stuff like that. What they look like is different. But when you walk outside tonight, and what I'd like to see happen, and you guys, whatever, but keep this in mind, but what I'd like to see happen, if you go out and you look at the church from the street, the whole side is kind of lit up. I'd kind of like to see something
Yeah,
like
wall
that
wash.
from a
Yeah.
lighting standpoint, not
We'll do
necessarily just on the pillars, but something that just throws a light on the whole
We
thing,
can
so.
do
But he
a
wants us to,
Wall wash, to light it up,
yeah.
sure. Well, just, the main thing is the,
And where? Where?
so I'll
Right.
just,
You're-
we just
you're
need to
worried about
identify where I'm
locations.
gonna run the main wires for now. We'll get everything in, the mulch goes in and everything, and then I'll add the fixtures.
Okay, and the mulch goes in before, you want to do that before the mulch goes in?
Yeah, I wanna get,
And when does the mulch go in?
I don't know, whenever the landscape plants the plants and the irrigation is in, so it's coming like within days.
Okay, well, I
So we
would,
just need to, I just need to go and get the wire and the,
yeah. Okay, that was the only thing that came up, we were talking about, and how we, because there's nothing to lay the line down, you just want to do it before they start bringing in the mulch. It's less work is what it is, because you're just burying it.
Andy and Christina, just your best guess, when do you think it might be completed with the landscaping, like turnkey, ready to go? You have a guess?
I mean, I would say the end of January.
Okay.
When is furniture gonna be done?
yeah, mid to end of January judging by the progress that they've made so far. I mean, they're really hitting it hard on the final phases at this point.
So-
Do you have a spot picked out for the plots for the trails coming for the landscape lighting?
Yeah, it'll be on that side with the 4 air conditioning units. So if you're
Inside
facing,
or outside?
so if you're
It's on the
facing the
outside.
building from the parking lot, it'll be on the right-hand side on the outside. It'll be an exterior box. There's an outlet over there. That's a good place for it, out of the way, and it's easy access.
So where are we with
Are we
furniture?
gonna keep a lock on that?
Man, I'll put it in an exterior, have it on an exterior box. I don't think anybody's gonna really mess with it. It's just landscape lighting.
Does anyone know where we're at with furniture?
It's been ordered,
Okay.
and we know it's gonna be
It's on a ship
in-
somewhere?
It's on a container ship at the port of somewhere.
I told him to schedule late January, early February, so
Okay, can we check
I'll
on
check
that?
on it. Mhm.
Yep. And what about the dais?
they're building it.
Huh?
They're building
Okay,
it.
but we'd all agree, but before we have a grand opening, we would want the furniture in there before.
Yeah.
not just-
Sure.
Okay, just, I know, because there was talk about taking our existing furniture and getting in the building.
Well, some of the existing furniture is going.
Right.
We're just moving what we're taking.
Yeah, everything else is, bye.
Okay.
You gotta let me get my breakfast nook installed.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, what was
Okay.
the answer? What's the answer to my question? Huh? 4. So Andy, when we have our, what's it called? The Village
Design
Hall
Committee.
Design Committee meeting.
Design
we're-
finishes up
We're
committee.
gonna invite you to come and talk to us about landscape lighting, because it will not be a quorum since we now have 6.
Okay, I will be glad to.
Right, Chaplain?
Yeah, it's not a
Hold
voting
on, right,
quorum.
Chaplain?
Yes, you can have,
We can have we can have 2 council members and a mayor.
and the mayor,
or
but if you have 3 council members.
Can't
it can
have
be-
3 council members.
Because that's enough to carry a vote. It's-
Right, but the mayor,
Yeah, it would be a meeting, but not
I have
a,
a feeling I'm
Quorum
gonna be
meeting.
in a lot more meetings with.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
'Cause it's a hybrid. You still shouldn't have a meeting where you have 3, that you'd have to have 4 to take legal action.
but can we invite him to come specifically just for that? Is that okay?
How many are you gonna have total? Or just
Me
do
and
a-
Joe.
Me, Joe,
And Andy.
Possibly
They're good.
Andy.
No, that's,
That's fine.
no, that's it. So me and Joe are the committee. We want to invite Andy to talk about landscape lights, so he can tell us exactly what he wants, and we'll pick out the fixtures. But I need him to tell me how many. I don't know that.
Well, he just wants to know where, like a general
I don't
idea
know
where
where
to, well,
either.
no, because the lines matter, where you put it on
know.
which side and,
But so can he
So I
come?
just need preliminarily, and I
Okay.
don't it's not like set in stone. I can move stuff. It's just easier to do it before the mulch goes.
Yeah,
in,
that's what I'm
I don't
saying.
move
So
around.
we'll,
But preliminarily, I wanna know where the
Yeah.
where the lights are gonna go, so I can run lines, and then after the fact, we can go and install the fixtures, and we can put them anywhere along those lines, and if I need to put branch lines in there, I
No,
can.
but I just don't know, like, how many lines do you need? Like,
It's,
if we wanna
he's not
have,
gonna
like-
need that, and the basic line, it has to go out. You can go pretty much anywhere with, you know, offshoots or
I know, I got
wherever you wanna
it,
go.
but we can invite him to the meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Okay.
Okay, so Andy will invite you to the meeting,
When
okay?
is that meeting?
I don't know.
We haven't
We haven't
decided.
said it yet.
We'll call you.
Okay.
Make sure you're available.
Nope.
Soon. It won't be tomorrow morning.
That's not enough time for a notice.
Okay. You don't need a notice.
It does need a notice. It's a special meeting.
Oh, because it's our meeting. Okay.
Is it a
And then
special
you
meeting
just-
though?
It's a special meeting. You guys don't have a meeting schedule. That's a special
It
meeting.
couldn't be tomorrow is what he's saying, but we can schedule a meeting for later.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't
Can
have
we
to
do
be.
Friday? Can you do Friday?
I'm out.
Oh, that's right. You're,
That's
Joe's
Monday.
gone.
dang it. We need to do this sooner than later.
So. But.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Any other questions? Moving on, unfinished business, discussion of Marvin 2022 Marvin Day celebration. Derek?
Have a,
What?
if you know, maybe you probably don't need one. Unless you want to look.
Did you not make enough copies?
I did.
I'll be fine.
Didn't count for all these new people.
One of each?
Take one, pass
These are the two main summary sheets. For the sake of time, I would say just look over it. If there's anything besides your name that you want to address or you have an update or email me, we'll get it on the spreadsheet for the next big meeting. And then, you know, we just met as a council and PRG board on November 30th. So most everything is pretty up to date. But you're welcome to look through it and make any comments now.
Meeting.
Any other?
My comment would be that,
Derek?
for everyone here, we really, we need a big push to look for sponsors. I mean, that has got to be a main priority because a lot of the big ticket items, the fireworks, the band, some of the stuff is dependent upon having those sponsors come in, so, and that includes me. I'm hard pressed to get out and knock on some doors and get some commitment. Because if we can get a commitment from one of the title sponsors, that's huge. And then we can, just pass that on to everyone else.
Where's our sponsor list?
I have it.
You print it out for us?
I did not because it's only what you provided and one that he provided.
Okay.
And then
I'll
obviously,
update that for you.
Okay.
we'll have Publix added onto that, but I'm trying to think of it. Do we go to the manager or we go to their corporate?
Go to the
Regional.
manager.
Go to the manager.
Just the manager.
Go to the manager and every little place in that shopping center over there that's in Marvin,
Yeah.
knock on their door. So Andy, you said that you didn't have anybody. Bob, what'd you say? You didn't have anybody?
Well, no, I'm not sure. When I get back into town on Thursday, I'm gonna contact all of the connections that I have through the cars and the motorcycles and find out how they, like when they put it on, when they sponsor an event, because they charge money, and that money for the participation might be able to be vented our way. The other thing is vendors. They invite vendors to come. So I told Jamie that I'll kind of follow up on that, just kind of find out how they're handling it. But yes, we may indeed have some sponsorships on that.
Okay. So we had said that we wanted to have the money by the end of the year. That's clearly not going to happen. I mean, we are way behind the 8 ball on getting sponsors. So if you don't know people that you can call specifically, then I can sit down and brainstorm just companies to call. And we can just give you a list. Andy, Bob, Wayne, whoever. Just give you companies to call their corporate office and just start asking for money. Because we have got to get some sponsors. I mean, I probably reached out to 15,
You sent me 14.
14.
Joe's picked 2 people to reach out to. I haven't talked to Jamie.
So we've really got to push this, and people aren't gonna make any decisions between now and the end of the year. So we basically need to have this done like by the middle of
I'm
January.
kind of making a running list, and then we'll have a name of who's contacting them.
So basically what I've done with Jamie is I'll send her a text and say, hey, this is who I've contacted. This is the means of, I either send a text or I talk to them or I send an email. We need to do this to make sure that we're not duplicating efforts. So it's not like we're calling the same companies. So if you're gonna call, you know, Joe the AC man, tell Jamie so that she can look at it and be like, oh no, wait, Jamie's already called Joe the AC man. And there's a zillion companies that are based here in Marvin, like, that people own businesses that live here.
Not even in, I mean, look at Valentine, look
Yeah.
at the businesses that are in Valentine, they would love to. Waxaw.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, the New York Life, who was at the tree lighting event, I actually knew the guy from before. I'd met with him on a personal level and stuff, so we had kind of reconnected. I don't know, and there's a real estate company I think I sent you. Did you ever?
Scarlet Prop. I sent
Yeah.
them the email this morning.
Okay, good. So I may
I
see him.
copied you on it.
I may see him tonight.
Perfect.
At the hockey thing. So he's a big hockey supporter. So.
So
we'll-
if we don't have if you guys don't have the sponsor letter and like donation form in an email form, then let Jamie or Austin know because they can send it to you.
Not Austin, just
Jamie. Let Jamie know so she can send it to you.
Sponsorships.
You guys just, all of it come to me.
Okay.
Jamie, could you send one to me, please?
Absolutely.
Just check. Thank you.
Just so you have it in your email so you can forward it on to people.
Okay. Any other questions?
So are we all gonna make a commitment, so by the next meeting, which is what, January 11th, we're gonna have, everybody's gonna have at least 5 extra people that they've talked to?
I mean,
Or
so far
5
we
people.
have $0.
Yeah.
So
Do we have a goal?
I mean, like, we think the band's gonna cost 10,000. We were just told that the band setup person's like 4,000. I mean, we've got food trucks that I'm sure we're gonna have to pay minimums for. So I mean, I would say 20,000 is our bare minimum.
Okay.
And that's without fireworks.
But that's without fireworks.
And y'all have some money already put into
Yeah,
the
but
fund.
not that much.
Yeah,
So-
I think it's 5.
You wanna have, Publix, can you have Harris Teeter also?
Sure.
Absolutely.
go anywhere you
can
want.
go anywhere you
Well,
want.
okay,
You have a contact at Harris Teeter, and you may want to play one against the other, saying, "Hey, we're looking at."
I'm not
we're-
sure.
we're- You know,
I'm not sure he's received the sponsorship package.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
but to your point is, if Publix may look at that and say, "We want to jump on this before
Form?
Teeter gets a hold of it." Or something like that. So,
I mean,
Marco's Pizza that's in the Publix
We use
thing,
them all.
they may be
Less, maybe.
someone willing to do that.
that.
Also mention, if you got, like, especially here in Marvin, and I can assist with this, I mean, I want to help with the sponsorship, but like, especially like in Marvin Gardens, some of those, I have all the contact information because they just pulled permits, like.
Yeah, so we need to, I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
so I'd
sit down
be-
and call all
I
those
just
people.
need, I told Jamie, I just need to see who we've talked to, and I don't mind reaching out
Nobody.
to those people.
Nobody
who
over
did we
there.
talk to when a Publix donated all the food for?
Mason did that.
Mason did that?
Mason, who'd you talk to at Publix? Or did Tommy talk to Publix?
No, hold on.
Okay.
There's
Yeah.
a community, I did it with something that we had groundbreaking.
And what about
Thursday.
Kohl's? I mean, Kohl's did stuff, right, for National Night Out?
There's a community link that you have to submit to.
Yeah, you have to go in and speak to them on that.
And there's
Kohl's?
Andy's over there. I mean, they're only saying Andy's at Custer Place.
Yep.
You've got all those businesses that are up,
Rosati's,
All of that.
yeah.
The manager at Publix is named Brian.
Brian, or the deli manager is Tyler Holmes.
I love it. First name basis with the
Do you
deli
have,
guy.
his no? He's the deli guy. He's not the
I
manager.
mean, that's,
Do you have
You can
Brian's
bring
number,
them
Mason? Okay.
I don't know if it's a person number or what.
The
Okay.
public number 704-843-0119.
We're not reaching out to sponsors. They are.
Well, I can still get the.
What is it,
Yeah, just
843?
email
We'll
it.
update the spreadsheet.
0119.
Just update the spreadsheet and we'll get it back out.
It's like
Just send it.
40.
Andy,
Somebody answer
Andy,
me.
we call all the people over the Publix,
If you just say who they
Shopping
are, so just
center?
put them on here and
like the
leave
people that have
contact
pulled
empty.
permits.
I'll have to probably call, I can get that.
I'll take
contact
care of the
information.
manager. I'll reach out to
Well,
the
you do
manager.
Publix, but there's
I
like,
have done work for the franchise owner of Marco's.
okay, so there's Marco's, there's a Mexican restaurant, there's a nail place, there's,
Southern Comfort Restaurant going in, Great Clip.
is there a is there a dry cleaners?
Mhm.
No,
There's a
okay.
dentist office going in too.
Okay. I've reached out to a couple of dentists already.
We can update the spreadsheet with the vendors that y'all have mentioned, and if y'all want to designate a council member to assign other council members to contact, you're more than glad to do so, and we
I'll do
can-
that.
Okay,
Kim will be great at it.
and then we can disperse the spreadsheet, y'all can go from there.
Perfect.
Okay.
So Jamie, I'll get up with you on that.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Anything else? All good where we're at?
Wade's got a question.
If you, like Blakeney here, whoever the management company is that owns that, if you contact them, they can give you an entire list of everybody there, and they might even kick in too,
I just saw that that management company changed.
and they're new.
Yeah,
Property manager.
yeah.
Because they're talking about what they're gonna be putting in there. They know who all the people are. They've got their phone number, they've got, you know.
Jamie, you can work on that and see if you can get that information.
Just put that, put Blakeney on the list and we'll talk.
And I had Chad, he's my daughter, goes to Chad's ortho.
Yeah, I haven't reached out to them yet.
Yeah.
I'm putting you down for that. Chad's ortho.
No,
Yep.
I had already talked to my graphic card, I said I would be calling him, so.
Okay. Cool.
Okay?
Jones Homes?
Oh,
Say that,
perfect.
yeah. If you wanna have
Homes.
developers all being our big
Send that over
sponsors.
to you.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we go with Marvin Day? Derek, you got anything else you want us to talk about?
Not the used wrappers though.
No?
Something-
You sure?
Take my wrapper.
Okay.
All right, you're good, Derek?
Oh.
Hold on, oh,
What?
can you stay for open topics? Sure. Okay, because I got an open topic for you that I meant to talk about before.
So next up, we have
You must be
discuss
hardcore.
and consider amending facility rental and professional pass fees in the fee schedule. That's you, Derek.
You guys have the proposed fee schedule?
Yep.
Packet?
It looks great to me.
It's track changes, so if you scoot over to the very last page, that's the changes that he's
Where
proposing.
is that? Oh, that's on one.
Based off of the conversation we had at the joint meeting.
We worked hard through this, PRG, joint
Oops, stop,
meeting,
you went too far.
council, Kim, everybody.
One.
We basically came up
Keep
with
going, though.
an hourly
One more.
rental
There.
fee as a base price, which is Monday through Thursday, like $40. It basically, any hourly rental fee doubles for non-residents. We're gonna do a 3-hour minimum on the weekends and just roll the legal holidays into that price point. The biggest change is that with the professional pass access of $250 a year, we're gonna charge an hourly rental fee on top of that. And that is gonna guarantee them their spot. We're gonna do $10 an hour, that's during non-peak hours, and that will go up to $20 an hour in 2023, is what we're proposing. So we'll kind of roll it in softly with $10 an hour this year and $20 an hour the following year.
Can I make a suggestion how you can get that out? Because my subdivision was looking at places and didn't think about that or understand everything going on. If you got all the HOA presidents, especially in this community, and tell them that this is a meeting place because there's no hospital, no government places will allow any meetings still. So they're looking for places to have some kind of meetings.
Can you do that? Any questions?
It's hourly rate. I was just trying trying to see where.
Yeah, Derek, it doesn't look
Doesn't
right,
show the
it doesn't
photo.
look right on the track changes.
The sheet with the red,
Yeah.
what's wrong?
Well, it says $40 hourly rate Monday through Thursday. Weren't we doing 10?
No, that $40 is the straight rental fee. So
That's
just
not
That's, you're having a birthday party and you wanna rent it,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry. So, okay, it's not on, is it not on here?
What's that?
It
Like,
actually isn't.
okay,
It needs to be added to it.
like down here
Under,
somewhere? Under the professional?
Under the professional access fee.
Yeah,
We would add a line for
okay. Yeah, and we need to just leave
Seeing what.
leave professional. Just take out the photographer, videographer.
No, but you need to get the wording exactly.
Yeah. Take out, leave professional there. And then put what you put in the,
You writing notes?
in the motion. In your memo. Just basically take that information and put that there, because that was right. Yes. So something up, yeah, that's, okay. Does that make sense?
Hang on.
I mean, that makes sense to me, because I was in the meeting.
So everything in red is what it's going
Okay,
to?
so-
Yeah, don't worry about that, go to, yeah,
This
that's,
is
it's,
confusing as
no,
hell.
it's not even on there. It's that, read that. That's what we wanna do. That's what Parks Rec and Greenway is recommending. So any professional pass holder, the reason this came up is because the professional pass holders are paying a flat fee, but then they're using the barn
Right.
for no extra money. And it's taken a lot of staff's time and scheduling. So we're now gonna then charge these professional pass holders. So what we wanna do is, next year, it'll be a quarter of the rental fee for an hourly use, so it would be $10 in 2022 for non-peak hours, and then moving on to 50% in 2023. So then it would be $20 an hour. And then it would basically just be half of like whatever it is for like non-resident or the picnic shelter. Does that make sense?
Can I say something to see if I'm on the same page?
Yep.
So under where it says professional photographer, keep the word professional.
Keep professional. Just leave,
Add-
just take out photographer and videographer and just leave professional access fee.
And then add a little asterisk down there that says, add 1/4 rental fee if running
No,
barn.
just do $10 an hour for 2022, and then $20 an hour for 2023 for resident for the barn. Literally, it's like a quarter of that fee. So it would be a quarter. So it would be $10 an hour. It would be
It's not resident,
$20 an hour, huh?
It's not resident, isn't it, for the professional?
It's, well, don't they get a break if they're
Resident.
resident and not resident?
If
No,
they're,
resident,
no.
non-resident has nothing to do with professional access.
Right, but the hourly rate would.
No.
No.
This
So
is
we're
for
just doing
people doing
$10 an hour.
classes.
Yeah.
Okay, and are we doing the same hourly rate for the picnic shelter?
Hang on.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So for barn and picnic shelter, $10 an hour for 2022. And $20 an hour for 2023, and we'll revisit it at the end of next year if we want to raise it in 24. Got
Okay.
it?
Yep.
Okay. That was the intent, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. We all good there? Any questions?
No.
All right, so you need a motion. So I'm gonna make a motion to amend the fees for professional access use of the barn at the Marvin Eford Park in a tiered stage system, charging professional access pass holders 1/4 of the rental fee for hourly use. So it would be $10 an hour on top of the $250 annual fee during non-peak hours in 2022. Moving to a 50%, which would be $20 an hour on top of the $250 annual fee in 2023, and that would be for non-peak hours. So for peak hours, it would still be a quarter, so it would be $12.50 an hour.
May I make a suggestion? Since that's a lot to put in one motion, can you do a motion to adopt the fee schedule as amended? And that way we can make all these changes on the back end.
No, because we
We
don't
need to
fully
know what the
understand.
amendment is.
Yeah, we don't know what the amendment is. She's going through it right now.
Okay, I apologize.
That's the whole thing. Okay, and so then those were all for non-peak hours. So for peak hours, it would be $12.50 an hour in 2022, and $25 an hour. No, and yeah, $25 an hour in 2023.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
That's the motion.
Further discussion? You're gonna have to go back.
That's gonna be 20 minutes.
It's literally written right here.
Yeah,
I read
I think
it.
it's following the memo. The other option will be to put it on.
I mean, we can
consent
roll our
agenda.
eyes all we want to, but I literally read it from the suggested motion.
Okay. So, motion on the table, further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have, consider approval of solid waste contract with Active Waste for services beginning on April 1st, 2022, allowing manager to make minor modifications pending attorney review and allow manager to execute agreement.
So finally, after multiple revisions and meetings with Active, the contract is here before you. Actually, Active dropped it off this morning, executed. We're ready to roll.
Chaplain's happy with it?
He is.
And these are my red lines that have been discussed with Christina after the meeting that we had. And we made the agreed upon changes and tweaked the language. Most of the modifications are in the Exhibit 2 scope of services and terms, which modify some of the liquidated damages provisions set forth in RFQ. But I'm good with this language, and I believe it's ready to go. Subject to any minor modifications, because we usually find things, but it sounds like they've already signed, so that's just a little insurance, but I think we're ready to go.
That was dropped off this morning?
It was, yep.
Okay. And you're good? So do we need a motion for you to allow you to execute minor modifications, or is
Yes.
this, are we just approving this?
If we can keep that just in case there's something very minor, that'd be awesome.
All right.
Okay.
So we're going to make a motion to approve the solid waste contract with Active Waste for services beginning on April 1st, 2022, allowing manager to make minor modifications pending attorney review and allow manager to execute agreement.
Further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Yay!
It's a long time coming.
And Active is raising the rates in 2022 for those who have Active, so we will be saving the Village of Marvin residents even more money.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
One thing that everybody that's getting this, they need to cancel their individual contract with, God bless the USA, Active, all the ones, and they have to do it individually. They will need, none of the companies, because they have individual contracts, they will not accept this subdivision is going to be done by Mark.
Yeah, we're going to send out
Yeah.
communication.
We'll send out stuff before then.
Yeah.
We don't want
to tell people what to do.
I've had people ask me, and I tell them that, they shouldn't. Because some people run like December, January, February, some people went February, March, April, and others was November, December, January, and they asked, and then they asked about 2 months early for the month.
Well, and they know that this displacement is coming, because we've given them,
They
the
might know.
companies do.
Well,
The companies know, so they know it's
but
coming.
the people do, you can tell them they still don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may want to do or consider an actual flyer in
Like a
everybody's
mailer.
mailbox.
Yeah, we've got all that.
Some people don't have mailboxes.
I know. But that's a start.
No, like you put it in the mail.
We've got a communication piece, PR piece that's included in the contract that Active is supposed to fund. We're meeting on Wednesday or Thursday of this week to go over a plan of implementation, schedule all that stuff, and when we're gonna do everything. So we'll get that scheduled for sure.
I just had a new guy move in this week in my neighborhood, and to try to get him up to date, he's looking at me like, I can't get going to here, you know, I'm gonna pay this.
Okay, that's a good point. Thank you. Excuse me. All right, moving on to discussion, new business, discussion of January 2022 communications.
Okay, I need to actually pull out my list because I have not looked at this recently.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Time capsule. When is it due?
I don't know. I don't know. It's still on y'all's list.
I know, so I have a couple of residents asking me when they need everything in so we can.
Do you have a location over at the village hall where we're doing it?
Oh.
Now's the time to dig a hole.
Yeah. Andy, can you dig a hole?
Of course.
Okay, so let's make a deadline for the middle of January for all this stuff, and then we can find a spot. Is that good? January 15th?
Why don't you say March? You wanna plan it after groundbreaking or before?
Don't you
I mean,
plant it? Don't you?
Not groundbreaking, but.
Don't you plant it like?
When you move in?
Yeah.
I
So do
mean,
you
we
do
could
it
do
like
it
at the
as-
ribbon cutting?
I would
That's what I would
say
do in a
at
part of
the
Ribbon cutting?
grand opening.
Okay. So we'll say, how about we say
Does-
February 15th, so we'll make sure we have everything. Okay. Will you put on the communications, Austin, that February 15th will be our deadline for stuff?
Is that our meeting for it?
No, I just picked that date.
Did you?
Yeah, it's like the middle of February. I don't know what our. I don't know
I'm
what
just
it
wondering when our regular meeting is in February.
is. No, it's the 8th.
Okay.
Is that good? I have Happy New Year.
Did I actually not put that on there?
No. I mean, you just have the village halls closed.
Oh,
Usually you have like a happy something. Happy New Year. Can I do February 1st stuff since you have PRNG and Coffee with Council on there?
I just put that in there because it goes in that in the previous newsletter. But yeah, you can.
Lunar New Year on February 1st.
Are you throwing a party?
I might. February 2nd is Groundhog Day.
Lunar New Year is
There's-
February 1st.
Yep.
Okay, hold on.
February 2nd is Groundhog Day. That's it. That's all I have.
Not Valentine's Day?
It's in
Too
there.
far,
Well, that's
February.
too far. I was only doing the very beginning. So we would have it in the week prior.
Any other additions?
New business, I have another question. I have 12 questions.
It's okay.
You got a well over there, I know you, for water. They offer a package, just like you do on your furnaces. Really, so much they'll come out and inspect it, fix any minor things. If you have major things, they'll give you a discount for fixing everything else. I just know from personal experience that it's usually well worth the money if you think you're going to be using a lot and stuff.
It's like a service plan, you mean?
Well, that's what mine was for, what ours was for too. But I mean, there's problems with them. Parts on them are expensive. You know, take them out and check on them. Just throw it out there.
So you're talking service plan for
Yes.
once we get the well?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the company that's installing it, and then as far as maintaining it, I don't know what we had plans for that. Did we have plans for that?
No.
Right now.
Okay.
We cost us $100 a year to,
Basically do the test on it every year.
year on it, and they'll do small repairs and everything else. If there's major repairs, they'll give you a discount on the repairs.
I'll get with you and get the vendor and we can.
Probably the company that's drilling that will do it.
Okay.
Typically, they do, yeah.
Yeah. So that's one that we use.
Okay, bye Jamie, thank you. Hey, good job with the audit.
Oh.
I'm
Yes.
sorry,
Great job.
with the audit.
Yes.
My pleasure. Bye.
All right,
See ya.
ready for the next one?
Yep. Okay, anything else? Okay. Moving forward, we have discussion of coffee with council event dates.
Yes.
I have 2 days I'd like to throw myself into.
Hold on, let me pull up my calendars.
Easy.
Let me get my calendars
Last
out.
week, Bob.
Hold
You
on.
need more than 2, slacker.
February, this January.
Which dates do you want, Barbarino?
Just pass it around a little bit.
Robert.
Ready?
Yep.
I'll do January 6th.
Okay. Who wants to do with Barbarino?
I can do that with him.
Okay.
Start the year off, let me make sure.
With a bang?
With the bang.
Okay.
Now, I'll take you, just because I'm mentioning this, I'll take you to March 29th, 6 to 7. That's an evening one. I'm jumping ahead. So
Okay, that's fine.
Just scratch that in.
Okay. Who wants to do with Barbarino on the 29th
Of March.
of March?
March.
Jamie?
Good Lord.
You all right?
I'm gonna do, yeah, I'm talking about 2024, right?
Oh my God. Anybody want to do with Bob on the 29th?
I will.
Okay.
I've never done one.
Wayne. Okay.
So you have January 25th, 6 to 7.
I'll do that one.
Jamie
I can do that one.
and Kim.
What is that?
January 25th.
Kim and who?
Jamie. We got February 3rd, 10 to 11 in the morning.
Which one?
February 3rd.
I can do that.
Kim.
Andy,
Yes.
Coffee.
you want to do coffee with me that day?
I like
Sure,
doing
why
one.
not?
Oh. Oh. Joe, you want to do it?
Well, I just,
Do you want? Would you rather do a night one?
Yeah.
okay, then I'll take the 3rd.
Okay, Kim and Joe, and then Andy on the 22nd,
Yeah, that's fine. Evening ones are easier for me.
Okay.
I'll do that one with Andy.
and Jamie.
Much more people would show up there.
Okay.
Loaded.
March.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Wait. 22nd was who? Andy and Jamie.
Andy and
Bars that
Jamie.
have one night.
Yep.
They had 4 people, right?
That's a lot.
That was a record, I believe.
No, what was it? I think we had 5. We had 5.
All right. Thursday the 3rd
5
of
people.
March.
It was a record number.
Who wants to do the Thursday the 3rd?
Let's see.
I'll do it.
Jamie. Wayne, do you want to do it?
Sure. 3rd.
Okay. I think everybody actually signed up for 3. I mean, for 2.
March
I
3rd
do have
is,
one request,
Okay.
because you talk about mornings and evenings. I need to know the 29th, what time of day, is it morning or night?
that's it now.
That's at night.
Night.
At 6 to 7 p.m.
So who's on March 3rd?
Jamie and Wayne.
And the 3rd's in the morning.
Yep. 10 to 11.
The first Thursdays are always the morning. The last Tuesdays are always the evening.
And the 29th is Bob.
That's fine. That's
Bob and Wayne.
Wayne, I'm your calendar here. That's my
But
job.
You know that I'll,
He will be sending you
he
all
already,
that to
he
your
already.
calendar. He could, if it wasn't for Austin, I wouldn't take a single meeting.
I asked my secretary about 9 o'clock tonight, what's done next morning?
All right. We're all good there through March. Thank you, guys. Next up, we have review and consider adoption of village council minutes from 11/9/21, regular 11/19/21, special 11/29/21 special, and 11/30/21 joint with PRG.
I had one change.
We pulled minutes. Which set do you have a change
The
for?
19th. Friday the 19th.
Friday the 19th. Okay.
On page 2.
Page 2.
Number 6 at the top.
6.
The motion, instead of situation, can we say park at park work?
So when motions are technically supposed to be verbatim.
Did
what
I
you
say
say.
situation?
You said situation.
Okay. I didn't go back and listen. I was like, did I really say situation?
I giggled when I typed
Okay.
that.
All right, then I have no changes. No giggle changes.
Anyone else?
That's why I was looking at you for that other motion earlier.
You weren't here for, maybe you were. You can't make it, you can, I guess you can make a change, but you weren't here. So you don't have
He
to
can,
vote on
he's a-
it.
So do you need a motion to put these on the consent agenda, or are
So,
we good?
Since you guys have not had work sessions in November and December, I've been bringing these to you guys just to go ahead and approve,
Oh,
so we can get
approve
them
them
out to the
here. Okay.
public.
Okay.
So that way we're not waiting.
All right.
So do you want us to have any other changes on any other ones?
I didn't make any changes because I
No.
said situation. Stupid. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna make a motion to approve the minutes from 11/9/21 regular, 11/19/21 special, 11/29/21 special, and 11/30/21 joint as presented.
As amended.
I didn't change anything.
Oh, yeah, you didn't change anything. My bad. Crazy. That works.
Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, open topics.
I have one open topic. Okay, so Derek, in the Park Rec and Greenway meeting, they wanted us to look at leaving the park for the sign where it goes. I don't know which tree they're talking about taking down. I took a picture.
Bob and I went out there today.
Which tree are they talking about? That one or that one?
Well, he was talking about the big cedar,
Okay.
but after talking with Bob and discussion with Hunter, you don't say we're going to take down any trees. I'm going to go out there and mark it off based on what Bob and I talked about this morning with Hunter's approval. And he's going to go through the ordinances and verify that it's okay. But that cedar will actually not clip the sight line from that grove of trees, so we would be just fine leaving it. The only thing we would do is limb up the oak. But,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you see where I was today?
Were you okay?
Yeah, I know. But I didn't do
You
it.
went
I
to park.
didn't do it the day I was supposed
But
to.
you were at the entrance, though.
I went in and turned around.
It goes back.
Oh, does it?
down-
Past
there's
the
a lot
barn?
back of the sign. There's a pond down there.
There is? Really? I
There's a
didn't know
barn
that.
and
Okay.
gathering.
I was trying to do my homework and I was a day late, but I went and I looked and, okay, so we're good?
Yep.
Okay, that was it. Thank you.
Anyone else with open topics?
Thanks, Derek.
All right, next up, we're moving on to agenda items. Austin, review of action items.
Okay, so Christina will execute the contract with Active. We will figure out the fee schedule and get that amended.
I know what it is.
You guys will work on Marvin Day sponsorships, and you will get Christina your priority forms
Already did it.
within a reasonable amount of time.
Already did it. Oh, okay, so Bob, Andy, James, Joe, and Wayne, you have got to do your priority forms.
Right here.
Okay.
My dear.
Ooh.
Put them all as one.
Well, that's easy.
Hold on.
I put
I was about to say-
a 2, 6 threes,
That makes my graphs hard.
16 and 17.
Bob, you got to do your homework.
And I was told I couldn't do that.
Andy.
You didn't tell the bottom half.
You got to fill it. Do all the paper. You didn't even do it all.
Circle both. 2 cents.
The tax feasibility section.
Do 5 cents.
They went,
I'm kidding. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. It's all jokes. You know what? I can joke now. Never mind.
You got 4 more years to joke.
10 minutes. 10 cents. 10 cents.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. What else you got?
You want this today, or can I get this to you?
Are you done, Austin? Do you
I'll
want me to
stay
carry
back
over?
here after the
Okay.
meeting.
It's a-
and I
that's
get
a-
it to you.
You can give it to
Ask
me in
Christina when
January.
she
It's
wants
due in
it by.
January.
Okay, it's June, January.
The due date's in your calendar.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's what I saw. I said, what the hell is that? That's the 5th, right? Right?
Yep.
I
The
don't
5th,
remember.
right? See, I remember at least the date. I'm like, what the hell is this schedule? All of a
So
sudden
he's only
I-
been the mayor for 8 years, and Christina's been here for 4. He should
She's
know what
really
the
good.
council priority forms are.
No, I mean, we've done it before, but I thought, I saw January 5th, council priority forms due. Look, I was wrong. So I'm good on dates. I
I do
just,
not
you
know what that
know,
is.
So we'll have
I know
a
what it is, I just didn't do it.
furniture decor meeting scheduled
Ooh, look at all that
here
money.
shortly. I'll get an update from Representative Willis on the roundabout lighting, see if he was able to get that absorbed. Union Power roundabout agreement, we'll check on that to make sure we're following through.
You said Union Power Agreement?
We'll send, yes, we'll send an email to you all. This is something I wrote, I didn't tell you guys this, but you all will have an email coming to you from either myself or Austin regarding newly elected and code of ethics requirements, and that's all I have.
Oh, that's right, we're gonna do that all.
You gotta do the training again.
I just went through an ethics class today, so I'm good, right?
Me too.
No, you gotta do the module. 2 hours.
It's better than 4 hours.
True.
Oh, maybe it is 4 hours. I don't know how long it is.
Oh,
I'm done with my real estate for the year. So,
me too.
so
Okay,
there-
go to the next one.
Okay, next up, review of ongoing action item list.
Okay, so my biggest one was the roundabout lighting, but Hunter already answered my question. I'm so excited.
Can we take that off?
That's it. No, it's not done because it's not done. There's nothing to take off yet. But I was very excited because that's
You
really
brought
what I
up
wanted
the
to
Union
do.
cell, I mean, the Union County cell application, I mean, we can keep providing those updates, but.
It's not done though. Until it's done, it's not done. What's the street lights? Is that
Point, which one? Oh.
You don't know.
Ownership?
That's-
We talked,
That's a, so before Rohit left, apparently there was a street lighting plan where if people wanted to get a street light in their subdivision, there's some type of plan that we have with Union Power where they can do so.
It's ancient.
And we just haven't had time to get to
Okay.
it, so it needs to
I
stay on
wasn't
there
sure.
until we
Oh,
get to it.
where are we with preserving the heritage oaks in Marvin Ephraim Park? Did he leave? Dirt. He left. Do we know?
No.
I don't.
Dang it.
I know he was
Where are we
waiting.
with what?
Oh, the
Feeding
preserving
the
that, yeah, feeding
Oh,
the
feeding
oaks.
them. Okay.
That's been on there for forever.
I'll get an update on that.
I ran into a county commissioner at the Waxaw Parade. He was saying we're trying to get through it. Did we schedule a meeting? I thought you were trying to get something and we were, is that set yet?
No, it's gonna be the beginning of January, but I'm still working with the county manager to get that date scheduled.
Okay, and who do we want there?
As
Is
far
it like
as-
an official meeting?
Yes, it's a joint
special
meeting. It's a joint meeting with both
Okay,
the Board of Commissioners and Village Council,
and that's the one on asking for help with
the roundabout.
the roundabout. That's all that meeting's for.
Mhm.
Is there anything else we want to talk at that meeting about? We have county commissioners there.
I say we just invite him to our retreat again and talk to him about it there.
You wanna do that instead?
We have
Probably.
a captive
We didn't.
attention.
And they get a free lunch out of it.
Yeah. Why don't we do that?
It's a good idea. Good
Wait,
idea.
say it
Mayor Pro
again?
Tem is
Full of
was a
them.
good idea.
Full of it.
She is
Maybe
efficient.
the only time I said that.
Full of it.
Once a year.
She waited, she just got it in.
All right. Good job, Kim.
Thanks. I don't even know what you said, but thank you.
Anything
It
else?
wasn't nice, was it?
No, it was a compliment. The best you get out of me. All the kicks I get. Okay, anything else? No. Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on, council comments. All right, we're going with the newbie first.
What are you asking for?
Council comments, anything you want to talk about?
Any comments?
Any comments about the town being elected? Anything else? Anything you want to say? It's
Well,
just,
getting elected is fantastic.
okay.
I knew it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll let Andy go first, and then you can follow him, and then we'll.
Oh, you should let me go first.
Yeah, she says, she never says anything. She just says, you know.
Nope.
You want to go first? You have anything to say?
I do.
Oh, okay, we'll go with
I'm
Andy first.
starting a new term on a new foot.
Well, just congratulations on
Thank you. Same to you.
and everybody else that was elected as well. Staff, thank you for all the hard work. I know Jamie just did a marathon with the report tonight. Hunter's been working hard. Austin, of course, is always working hard. Christina's been very loaded up with all the different crazy things going on with Village Hall, trash, all that. So thanks, guys. You guys keep it all moving. One comment, though, that maybe I should have done on open topics, but I'll make it now. We did get a list back on the trees for the traffic circles from the urban forester. However, Bob and I agree that none of the ones that he suggested are what we're looking for. They're all massive trees, like 60-foot trees. So we're going to have to revisit that, reach out to him again on something that's a little bit smaller scale, and see where we can go from there. And then we'll bring that to council for us to all look at.
Once we have that list, are we taking that to DOT to see what they approve? Because they have an approved plantings list.
Do we have that list?
I don't know.
I'll
I
have
mean,
to-
That would probably be the thing to do, to submit to Keith, because then it would give him something that he
Yeah.
could compare to.
because I met with DOT and, oh, who was in that meeting?
It's been a while
It's been a
ago,
long
yeah.
time, but
I think I still have
he
that.
gave us a list of approved trees, plants, shrubs, whatever, for roundabouts.
Okay.
And specifically, I feel like our roundabouts for the size and
Yeah, and for the
Line of
tree-
sight,
But I think there is a
Yeah.
list, yeah.
so.
So, all right,
we'll-
let's
we'll get-
do that.
Yeah, we'll get you that list.
That
Let's
works.
get that list, and then we'll get it to Keith, and then he can pick what he
Yeah.
feels like is gonna be best suited out of that list.
Okay.
And then Bob and I'll take a look at it, and we'll give recommendations to council to
Okay.
pick from.
I'm calling him tomorrow anyway.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, Andy?
That's all I have.
Okay. Bob?
I'm just pleased that the outcome of the elections. And I want to thank the citizens of Marvin that came out and took the time to make what would be an important vote. That, you know, for the next 2 years, what we've been doing the last 2 years, we're really moving. And this all couldn't be done without the help of obviously everybody that's working there in the village offices, and especially Christina, who's been really handling a lot. But welcome, Wayne.
Thank you.
Packed.
Jamie?
Ditto. Welcome, Wayne. It's exciting. This past year has flown by, really, and we've gotten a tremendous amount of stuff done, and that's just a testament to really the staff, because, you know, we kind of put this stuff into play, and they execute it. Welcome Hunter to the team, you know, this year. I know he's been here a while, but we just keep adding, and everyone keeps just, man, really pushing the ball forward. Always a shout out to law enforcement, to Mason and Tommy. You guys do a great job. Please be safe. There's unfortunately a lot of people out there that don't like law enforcement today, and you guys be safe. And but great year, and I look forward to next year. Thanks, staff, for all you do.
Okay. I'll let you know.
I want to make a comment about, you said DOT. They have so many feet from a roadway, and they look differently, like on Creek Myrtles, but they look, if you got an oak, a big something massive there that makes a hard stop, they're critical, so definitely you want to go and ask them about it before you put it in.
Yep.
I think this is another chapter of my life. I'm looking forward to it, and since I have so many nice people to work with, I'm lucky enough that a lot of these people that are especially on the staff that I've got to work with for a year or so before this, and I'm looking forward to it.
Kimberly?
Thank you, Joseph. This is literally why I don't say anything, because I'm not going to repeat what everybody else has said. You guys all said it. I mean, welcome to everybody. Congratulations to everybody that won. Staff is amazing. Thank you to everybody that came out and voted. We really could not have, we wouldn't be in this position if you guys didn't come out and care about the community. So thank you to everybody that came out. But I'm just saying what everybody else has already said, so.
But sometimes you go first and don't say anything. Because you know they're gonna cover it.
Because I know they're going to cover it.
Like especially me, so.
Yep.
We good?
Always.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
All right. Just obviously staff,
See?
thank you for, no, everybody wants to thank them
fix it.
individually.
Fix it.
Fix what?
Fix your mistake that you made
What mistake?
on Saturday. You even said you made a mistake on Saturday.
What did I make? What did I
I have
do?
no idea.
The mistake I
You
made?
made-
Oh,
you made a statement.
I made a mistake. I missed an opportunity to thank staff for all the hard work that you did. I mentioned that to my wife, and she's like, I noticed that, and I said, why didn't you say anything? But, you know, I mean, we were talking about the kids that were there and stuff, but thank you, staff, because I know there's a lot of work that goes into that. And that's a big deal, because I love seeing that event every year, and that tree was beautiful. Nice big tree. And Derek and everyone involved did a really nice job on that, so thank you for that. Jamie with the audit, great job with that. We're heading in the right direction with that for sure. The newly elected members, again, back to citizens coming out, especially this year, again, we really couldn't go knocking door to door, so we relied on a lot of our own contacts and, and some of the flyers that we have. And getting behind you, I think our group that, I couldn't be more thrilled with what we have, because as people ask me, why are you doing this again and stuff, and I'm like, it's actually fun. The meetings are relatively shorter than what they have been in the past.
Could be shorter.
There's always going to be those individuals out there that are going to throw arrows and darts and stuff, but I mean, we just got to keep moving forward and
The one
stuff.
sitting beside you.
Especially, that one. Candidates that are now elected officials, please, if you have any, I noticed that they brought a bunch of signs over. I think it was Will, I forget his name, Owens, that brought them over, and he's got, I was missing a bunch of signs. I thought people were getting rid of them or
They're at Village Hall.
whatever, but they're at Village Hall, so please grab those. We had a staff party last week we hosted at our house, and thank you for those coming. I think we all had a really fun time being in the backyard and stuff, so thank you guys for that. The Christmas parade, the lighting, the parade, I wish there was a better way to communicate it. Like, we really got a pound, because as I was driving Santa around, there's a lot that people, I mean, even with the horns going and stuff, people were just kind of running out. I kind of felt to me, a lot of people weren't aware of it. But there were certain areas that were packed with kids and stuff. And a great Santa, so kudos to getting Santa. And then I'll finish with wishing everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever it is you celebrate. May it be joyous and safe. And we will see you, I guess, in a formal meeting next year.
In the new year.
In the new year, so congrats. And then with that, I think we're moving into closed session, correct?
Yep. So I make a motion to move into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318.1184 for economic development.
All right, all's in favor?
Aye.
And Bob, someone will call you, either me or someone will call you shortly.
Me or somebody. Yep, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to move into closed session, open session.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
And I'd like to make a motion to adjourn at 8:53 PM.
Excellent. Yes.
All right.
All in favor? Aye.
All in favor?
Motion passes. Bye, Bob.